The False Dawn of Omar Khayyam.
Welcome to Stargazers. I'm Dean Regas, astronomer from the Cincinnati Observatory.
And I'm James Albury, director of the Kika Silva Pla Planetarium in Gainesville, Florida. It's nearing that time of year again when we talk about the false dawn of Omar Khayyam.
That's right, James. Almost 1,000 years ago, the Persian poet Omar Khayyam, in his book of poetry, the Rubaiyat, wrote his most famous line, "A jug of wine, a loaf of bread, and thou, beside me singing in the wilderness." But elsewhere in the Rubaiyat, Omar made a poetic allusion to a mysterious false dawn, which can only be seen at a certain time of year.
And this year, as we approach the beginning of autumn, the week leading up to September 22nd is your best chance to see it for 2015, because there will be no bright moonlight to overpower this delicate astronomical phenomenon. So, let's take a trip into space and see what we're talking about. Okay, if we could go way out into space and look down on our solar system with superhuman vision, we would notice a faint, almost imperceptible, vast cloud extending outward from the Sun in the plane of the orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and slightly beyond. An enormous cloud of cosmic dust.
Now, while one would expect it would be impossible to see this super faint cloud from Earth, nevertheless, in September, when the plane of our Earth's orbit is almost vertical to the horizon, we can, under the right conditions.
And those conditions require that there is no moonlight, and that you must be far away from city lights, because even the faintest moonlight or urban lighting will wipe out the extremely delicate ethereal glow of the false dawn. As a general rule, if you can see the Milky Way from where you're observing, you'll have a good chance to see it. To find it, look toward the east about 2 hours before sunrise, before the real dawn. It will look like a dim, cone-shaped patch of light about the same brightness as the Milky Way. It will extend from the horizon about 1/3 to halfway up to the zenith. A ghostly, faintly glowing, rounded pyramid of light.
If you notice, the Milky Way is at an angle to this faint band of light. However, the Milky Way will be there all night long, while the false dawn will only appear as dawn approaches. Again, that's about 2 hours before sunrise.
Now, the scientific name of this phenomenon is the zodiacal light, and it's caused by sunlight scattering from all those trillions and trillions of dust particles which make up the great cosmic cloud, close to the sun, lying in the plane of the planets.
And while you're out there looking for the false dawn, look over to the right and notice the early morning return of the stars of winter. Orion the Hunter, the brilliant star Sirius and Canis Major, and the twins of Gemini, Castor and Pollux, which will give you a good idea of where the top of this cone of light should be.
And if you look a bit farther to the left, you'll be able to see the Big Dipper rising in the northeastern sky.
And although Omar didn't mention it, this false dawn also has an evening counterpart, the false dusk, the evening zodiacal light, which looks pretty much the same, except that it's visible 2 hours after sunset in the west, in March, when the plane of our Earth's orbit is almost vertical to the horizon.
Additionally, if you ever see a similar oval-shaped glow directly overhead at midnight, you would be seeing the zodiacal light's sister phenomenon called the Gegenschein, or counterglow. I sometimes wonder whether any poet ever wrote about that.
At any rate, remember that September is the month to see the false dawn of Omar Khayyam, the morning zodiacal light, which I admit is very elusive.
But once you've found it, I think you'll know why it appeared in poetry centuries before it appeared in scientific writings.
So get outside before dawn this week and be sure you're far from city lights and see if you are as inspired as an ancient Persian poet. Keep looking up.